Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today, Jane, we're diving into a really profound question, one that I think a lot of people ponder but might not articulate. What exactly is the difference between a sage and an ordinary person?
Oh, that's a brilliant one, John. It sounds heavy, doesn't it? But I think the answer, from what I've been reading and reflecting on, is surprisingly simple, almost deceptively so. It seems to boil down to a single thought in the exact moment when one's mind moves. That's it.
A single thought, that's quite a statement. It suggests that this vast chasm we imagine between someone we deem wise or enlightened and ourselves isn't actually this monumental journey, but rather a moment-to-moment choice. Can you elaborate on that single thought idea?
Absolutely. Think about it from the perspective of an ordinary person. We often find ourselves acting against our own better judgment, don't we? You shouldn't eat that extra slice of cake or spend hours scrolling, but you do it anyway. We're so easily swayed by external forces, the lure of fame, the pursuit of fortune, or just the everyday desires tied to our emotions and senses. It's almost like we're on autopilot, reacting rather than choosing.
That's so true. I mean, we're constantly bombarded. Social media, advertising, the expectations of society, it's like we're caught in this relentless current, always striving for more, always busy. And at the end of it all, when you really step back and look at it, what do we truly gain with all that endless toil, besides, losing our youth and our life itself? It makes you wonder if the value of our existence can really be measured by the deepening of our wrinkles.
Exactly. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? We chase after these external metrics, thinking they'll bring fulfillment, but often they just leave us feeling empty or perpetually striving, and that's where the sage comes in. A sage becomes a sage precisely because, in those very same ordinary moments, they are diligently cultivating their mind.
So instead of being swept away, they turn inward. That's a crucial distinction. It's not about being immune to external forces, but about how you respond to them. This idea of at every rising thought, they turn inward and reflect upon themselves, that's a profound practice, isn't it? It's active, conscious engagement with one's inner world.
It really is. They recognize the true master within their own heart. Even when they're entangled by external pressures, the sage remains the true ruler of their mind. They're not just reacting, they're observing, choosing, and guiding their internal landscape. And the result, apparently, is a life lived with no shame before heaven and earth.
No shame before heaven and earth. That's a powerful phrase. It speaks to an internal integrity, a congruence between one's actions and one's deepest values. It's not about being perfect, I imagine, but about being true to oneself, to that inner master. But how does one even begin to cultivate that? How do we start to walk that right path?
Well, the first step, it seems, is to study and understand the principles of truth. This isn't just about reading books or listening to talks, though that's a start. It's about discerning what is fundamentally true, what resonates with that inner master, rather than just accepting popular opinion or what feels good in the moment.
And the beauty of truth, as I understand it, is that if something is truly true, it doesn't need to fear any test. You can throw time at it, slander, criticism, it will endure. Lies crumble, but truth stands firm. That's a really comforting thought in a world that often feels full of noise and misinformation.
It is, but then there's the human element. Life unfolds in stages, right? We face different challenges, different temptations. Can the heart remain steady forever? Can one's original intention stay pure and consistent from beginning to end? That's the real test, I think, the longevity of that inner resolve.
That's a very practical point. It's easy to be enthusiastic at the start of a journey, but maintaining that focus, especially when the path gets difficult or less glamorous, is where many falter. And I think that's where the greatest danger lies, being swept away by the worldly tides, chasing after illusions in the dust of the red world, as some might put it.
Exactly. You start with good intentions, a clear vision, but then maybe just one careless thought, one slight distraction, and you drift a little, then a little more, and before you know it, you're so far away from where you intended to be. And the real kicker, by the time you realize and try to turn back, a century has already passed. That's such a vivid and sobering image, isn't it? The fleetingness of time and the profound impact of small deviations.
It really highlights the urgency, actually, of this inner cultivation. It's not just about studying truth, though that's essential, but also about practicing it diligently. A principle might sound absolutely wondrous when you hear it, it might give you goosebumps. But that's just hearsay, isn't it? It's intellectual appreciation, not embodied understanding.
Yes, it's like reading a recipe for a gourmet meal. It sounds delicious, you can picture it, but until you actually get into the kitchen, gather the ingredients, and follow the steps, you haven't truly experienced it. Only when that principle is put into daily practice can your understanding become truly lasting and profound. It moves from theory to lived experience.
That makes so much sense. It's the difference between knowing about something and knowing something. It's the integration of knowledge into action. And this reminds me of an analogy I heard about flowers. A flower may not be particularly fragrant, yet it can live long. Another may be dazzlingly beautiful, vibrant, but it withers in an instant, like the fleeting bloom of an epiphyllum.
That's a beautiful metaphor, John. It really drives home the point about enduring truth versus fleeting beauty. We often chase the dazzling, the immediate gratification, the things that grab our attention, but they might not have the depth or the staying power. The long-living, perhaps less showy flower has a quiet resilience, a sustained presence.
Precisely, and that's where this journey towards sagehood becomes so practical. Therefore, once you have awakened to the way, once you've started to grasp these truths, you must live it out. It's not an optional extra, it's the essence of the path. Apply the principles of truth in your daily life, in every decision, every interaction, every thought.
And the promise is truly remarkable. Your wisdom will flow endlessly. It's not a finite resource you tap into, it's a wellspring that gets deeper and richer with every conscious application. And perhaps even more importantly, your faith and original intention will then endure forever. That steady heart we talked about earlier, that's how you cultivate it.
It's a continuous process then, isn't it? A lifelong commitment to self-reflection and integrity. It sounds daunting, but also incredibly liberating. To be the true ruler of your mind, to live without shame before heaven and earth, that's a profound sense of peace and purpose.
It really is. It shifts the focus from external achievements to internal mastery. It's not about becoming someone else, but about truly embodying who you already are at your core, that true master within. And that's a journey available to all of us, beginning with that single thought, that conscious choice in the moment.
So, to recap, the ordinary person is swayed by external desires, often acting against their better judgment, leading to a life of endless toil with potentially little lasting gain. Whereas the sage, at every rising thought, cultivates their mind, turning inward, recognizing their inner master, and thus remains steadfast even amidst external entanglements.
Precisely. And the path involves studying truth that withstands all tests and then crucially practicing it daily, not just appreciating it intellectually. Because the greatest danger is drifting away from our original intention, swept by worldly tides, only to realize too late that time has passed.
It's about choosing the long-living flower of enduring truth over the dazzling but fleeting epiphyllum of transient desires. And by consistently applying these principles, our wisdom deepens, and our faith and original intention are fortified.
What a journey of self-discovery and conscious living. It really makes you rethink those everyday moments, doesn't it? Every thought becomes an opportunity.
Absolutely, Jane. This has been a truly enlightening conversation. A big thank you to our listeners for joining us on this exploration of what it means to be a sage and how each of us holds that potential within us.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in. Keep those thoughts cultivating, and we'll catch you next time.